Oh, you guys, we got some exciting stories to talk about today. I'll be speaking about the latest in regards to Sandro and the Emerson swap. I'll be speaking about the Dries Mertens latest news. I'll be talking about Onana and the big statement he made. And to end things, we need to talk about Bakayoko, as it looks like he's returning back to the club. Exciting stories today, you guys. But before I get into anything, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. Use the OneFootball app to stay up to date to all the latest news coming from across Europe. I'm sure that you guys that have downloaded it for yourselves right now are already up to speed with the news, and you've come in to hear my thoughts and opinions on these stories. So thank you for that, you guys. And of course, for others that are still far behind, what you waiting for? You'll find a link to the app in the description below. And obviously, you guys, if you like today's video, if you're happy at not seeing this side of my hairline, listen, what can I do? We're self-isolating in London. I can't be irresponsible and see my barber. Listen, I want to see my barber. I desperately want to see my barber. What can I do, lads? And on that note, what's your hairline saying? What's your trim saying? That's what I'm thinking. So if you're happy to see me just cover up this monstrosity, if you're happy with today's news, then help me get over 2,000 likes for today's video. But now we start with the first story for the day, and I want to speak about the Onana latest. Now, a few days ago, Onana did release a cryptic Instagram post suggesting that he could potentially be off and leaving Ajax. Now, late last night and earlier this morning, it's finally been confirmed, and Onana himself has stated that he wants to leave Ajax at the end of the season. As the player himself said, he is ready for the next step up in his career, and as his manager and Erik ten Hag has stated, Onana was promised a move away from the club last season, providing Ajax get the money they want for the player. His manager has said that at this point in time, there have been no concrete offers made. However, there's a host of interest from across Europe. Teams like AC Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, Barcelona, and obviously us have all shown strong interest in signing the goalkeeper. Now, the fact that Onana has made such a public statement is a clear indication that he wants clubs to start showing strong interest. At this point in time, it's looking like Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona are really trying to step up their efforts to sign the goalkeeper, and we know that from previous stories a few months ago, Onana is very open to the idea of signing for us. It's annoying that those links have grown a bit quiet since, and I'm hoping it's not typical of us showing a lack of conviction when it comes to signing players. Sometimes we're just not focusing on the one target that we really need. Now for me, Onana is the perfect competition for Kepa. His amazing reflexive saves as well. He's very good at handling the ball and collecting crosses too, and his passing is pretty good. He's a keeper that can play on the ground, and his long range passes aren't too bad. We know that Ajax aren't a very strong physical team, so naturally when he's forced to play long passes, no one's going to win that ball. Now, I'm sure that you guys have seen some clips of him making certain mistakes throughout his career. I mean, this is part and parcel of being a goalkeeper at this level. I mean, over the years, great goalkeepers like Petr Cech and Courtois have all had spells like littered throughout their stay where they have had pretty bad form or have been pretty average. And if you're asking me, is that enough to use it against Onana? Of course not. Remember, he will be signed as competition for Kepa because we've spent an absolute ridiculous amount to sign him in the first place. And it's now up to Kepa to prove why he should be our #1 goalkeeper. Personally, I feel like the lack of competition over the years has made him become a bit complacent. Stats-wise, statistically, he's been one of the most underperforming keepers in the league. He's single-handedly cost us games. And for me, that's down to his poor positioning. You know, when Kepa needs to leave his goal, he doesn't show too much confidence, and whenever teams are 1v1 against him, his positioning is all over the place. And I'm going to ask you guys, would you be happy to see Onana sign for us for next season? Now, continuing on with the exciting news today, I'll be speaking about Mertens and Sandro. To start with, let's break down the latest Mertens update. Now, some false news did circulate at the early hours and late last night, suggesting that Frank Lampard was constantly making phone calls to Dries Mertens. That was proven to be wrong. That was proven to be Italian journalists having a bit of fun and just gassing up stories like they love to do. As was reported by Mr. Belgium News himself and Christoph Torreira, he said that Lampard obviously hasn't been on that phone non-stop. He isn't calling him every single day, as if Lampard doesn't have a wife and kids to look after. But the reality still stands that Frank Lampard is a massive fan of Dries Mertens. Now, for me right now, does this imply that Dries would be signed to fill that backup winger position, or could he be signed to play as a backup striker? He can play across every attacking position, so for me, this naturally implies that we'd be signing him for economical reasons so we can fund a massive move for an attacking player. Now, as was reported, Mertens' contract renewal talks with Napoli have stalled, and that's been down to the pandemic situation. It was reported previously that there was a bit of bad blood between De Laurentiis and Dries Mertens, and it comes to no surprise that over the past few days, I guess De Laurentiis has been on his charm offensive. He did buy Dries Mertens' shirt in a charity event, the shirt that was used when Napoli played against Barcelona and Mertens scoring in that game, and it's obvious that he wants Dries to commit his future with Napoli. However, what's quite telling is that Mertens' lawyer has been actively pushing his client services out to clubs all across Europe. Anyway, you guys, let me get back to focusing on Lampard and Dries Mertens. Currently, Dries is at a crossroads because he wants to leave Napoli as their all-time record goal scorer. At this point in time, he is matching the same goal tally with another Napoli legend, Marek Hamsik. However, the pandemic situation has affected things, and realistically, this could be Mertens' only final opportunity to secure a move to a Premier League team. And this is where Lampard's pulling power comes into play. We've already seen that with him being able to persuade Hakim Ziyech to sign for us, and it's no surprise. Lampard was one of the greatest midfield players of his generation. He's won absolutely everything at a club level. He's an educated man, and what I love about Frank Lampard is that whenever he speaks, he likes to speak with context. It's no surprise that Hakim Ziyech did respond to Lampard's conversations, and I personally feel that Lampard could secure the bag and help us sign Dries Mertens. As I'm saying, for economical reasons, Mertens makes a ton of sense. But now, you guys, let's move on to the other report today, and that's in regards to the Alex Sandro update. Now, to give you guys some backstory, reports are suggesting that Barca and Juventus are currently ongoing with talks in regards to potential swap deal involving Arthur and Pjanic. Now, for me, it makes absolutely zero sense, but to be honestly, I don't really care about that deal. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because it gives us further evidence. It supports claims that Juventus really are in the market to do player swap deals. And here's where Tuttosport's report is really interesting, because they're suggesting that Juventus' sporting director in Fabio Paratici is in the process of setting up an operation to sign Emerson. And what is so exciting about these reports is that Paratici is only in business when it comes to doing a player swap deal. The article did disclose that Alex Sandro was actually on the move in the year 2017. The only reason why that deal did fall through was because the replacement for Sandro was Emerson, and at that time for Roma, that's when he picks up his ACL injury. Now, let's cast our minds back to that anticlimactic Alex Sandro story back in the 17-18 season. The main reason why he never signed for us was because Juventus could not sign a replacement left back in time. And here's where I give my thoughts and opinions, because I know how some people may feel about this story. Nini, Alex Sandro is 29 years old. I'm hearing that he isn't as good as he used to be, but of course, you guys, I'm here to give you the context. Now, with Sandro, for me personally, one of the reasons why I feel like his crossing stats have come down is because he isn't necessarily getting straight to the byline. Juventus have been using a lot of narrow formations, and now that they have Cristiano Ronaldo, Alex Sandro just can't bomb for him when he wants, because Ronaldo ain't going to do no defensive work off the ball. And I'm sorry, but I feel like we have to get over this narrative that once players are near the age of 30 or are past 30 years old, that they're declining assets and, they're just not good enough, because that is so false. There's so much supporting evidence across Europe. Look at teams like Real Madrid. Did they not win 3 Champions Leagues with experienced teams? I mean, look at Juventus. Even with their old-ass team, they're still challenging every single year at the top. Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, I can go on, you guys. When you're a big club like us that has the possibility of actually challenging for trophies and winning things, you want to get that perfect balance of experience and exciting youth. Now, if Sandro came, imagine the long-lasting impact he could have in the team. Imagine what he could do with guys like Ian Maatsen and Dries James, who are learning off one of the best fullbacks over the past few years. All I'm praying is that we're not going to be stupid and just give Sandro some stupid contract that's going to put the player off and potentially scupper a move, because honestly, if we can do an Emerson, an Emerson that is disillusioned with his stay here, that wants to return back to Italy, and we can bring in Sandro as his replacement, we've upgraded that position, you guys. And as I keep stressing, when you have so many young, exciting wingers ahead of you, you want to support them with the experience quality behind them. But of course, that's only my personal opinion. Are you happy with a potential move for Dries Mertens and Sandro, or do you think that these guys are too old, they're past it, and we should be turning our attentions to younger alternatives? Now you guys, I want to end today's story with the final report, and I want to speak about Bakayoko. Now, it's obvious that the pandemic situation has affected football, and it is going to affect the transfer market. Ligue 1 has been officially cancelled, and Monaco just aren't in that same position to pay up to 42.5 million euros to sign Bakayoko for a permanent. Now, what is quite frustrating is that Monaco were actually willing to negotiate with us to bring the value down. However, we said no. We said, listen, if you're not going to sign him outright, he's coming back to us, and currently Bakayoko is in that process of returning back to the club. Now, let's get back to these Paris Saint-Germain reports. Paris Saint-Germain aren't necessarily in the process of, putting in a bid to sign the player, but that doesn't dismiss the fact that Leonardo has not made inquiries about Bakayoko's availability. As reported by RMC Sports' Loic Tanzi, he's basically confirmed that, talks between Paris Saint-Germain and Baka have only been inquiries and informal talks. Now, here's where I get really frustrated, you guys, because I feel like this greed to just get the maximum amount of money for depreciating assets. We are never going to get 40 million euros from a Bakayoko sale. For me, we need to take that L. It's a punishment for that awful 17-18 season. That punishment should just sear into our minds and just stay there forever. And hopefully when it comes to conducting business again, we'll never be that stupid ever again. Let's not forget that there is a new rule in place that's going to be taking place from next season, suggesting that you can only have up to 8 players over the age of 22 on loan. At this point in time, we have 15 players above the age of 22, and these are players like your Zappa-Costas, your Baba Rackmans, and your Danny Drinkwaters. Now, in what reality will we ever get top money for either one of these players? It's obvious that we have to take the L, accept a loss for the sale, and keep it moving, because there's only a finite amount of time to conduct business, and if we're going to waste our time, and we should be spending that time securing the players to take us to the next level, because we're trying to get an extra 2 million, 3 million or 5 million for discarded players, then I'm not going to be happy. I'm telling you that now, because in this window in particular, you guys, every player we want gets about 3, 4, 5 clubs interested in the same player. We need to start showing more conviction. I'm sorry. Take the L's, take the loss, move these players on quickly. It's only fair for them. But anyway, you guys, that's my personal opinion. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Now, I'm going to let you know there might be another reaction video out later today, and I'm going to be doing a reaction on Loftus-Cheek, because I'm starting to feel like a lot of us are starting to have distant memories when it comes to the player. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.